Wonderful to be here with you in these blending moments together. To have this opportunity to explore more of the infinite that we all are. More of the unconditional love that is all of our actual nature. And with this in heart and mind, in what way would you most enjoy exploring together?
Hi, Ishuwa. I'd like to ask a few questions.
Very well.
First of all, I'd like to know a little bit more about yourself and your civilization.
Very well. I am Ishuwa
Yes.
of the Yayel civilization. The idea then, in brief brevity, your and our civilization were at one time the same one civilization. There were some in our world who chose to step out into space to explore new worlds, new creations, new evolutions, hybridizations of life forms. And some of those who embarked on that co-creation from our civilization, they, over eons and eons of your time, in a sense, through the blending, through the hybridization, through the evolving with other civilizations, some quite different than ours, but human, yes, have evolved and become your Earth human civilization. So you do, as the channel was mentioning earlier, you do, each of you on Earth, in the DNA of your human biology, all of you without exception born here on Earth, have DNA that is then very much that of our civilization, the one in which you, in a sense, were a part of before that time of stepping out into space to explore, to create new hybrid worlds. So in that sense, we are family. We are human as you are. There are variations in our physical appearance from those of you in your world. We could walk amongst you and the variations wouldn't make you think necessarily we were from another world. Perhaps just from a different part of your world you weren't familiar with in that way. We are very different in our vibration, our consciousness, our sense of who we are. Our knowingness of existence is quite different than that you have in your world at this timing. We all know in that sense who we are. We all support one another in all moments without hesitation, without question. We are all then supported by ourselves and by all others in our civilization at all times, without hesitation. This is a wonderful, a wonderment, a wondrous experience for us to be a part of. This simply is the way we have chosen to co-create our experience together. So it is no less or greater than that in your world's choices to choose, as you have been doing, to be somewhat separate from the awareness of your actual nature. So the idea then, I have been exploring and traveling through what you might think of as timelines, what you might think of as for a very long time in terms of how you perceive years in past, present, and future. But it isn't all that long in my experiencing, for I am able, as many of us are, to move about in time, past, present, and future at rates that don't then take as long as you might think they would. And in doing this type of exploration, it allows me to experience extraterrestrial civilizations from a variety of choices in terms of who they choose to be as individuals, as a society, how they choose to interact with other civilizations in their own worlds and on other planets and other solar systems. This then for me is a great joy to explore and experience and learn from other civilizations, other extraterrestrial beings, other worlds, other ways of life, other forms of experiencing the infinite that we all are, unconditional love that we all are. This is of great excitement and fulfillment for me to do this. I, in doing this, have developed a type of translation ability that affords me the ability then to speak with a variety of extraterrestrial civilizations in a language they can understand. It is as though I am a translator, in a sense, for several extraterrestrial worlds, civilizations, beings, life forms. These are some, then, of the activities and functions for me that are fulfilling, that are a part of who I enjoy experiencing and sharing with others in other worlds and in my own Yayel civilization. It is always a great joy to have opportunity to interact in that then in your civilization, to share and interact with those of your human experience in your current timeline, which is always changing in every moment. It is a great joy for me to be able to interact with you. So, that is a little about me and the Yayel civilization. Did you have more around that you wanted to ask about, or was there another direction you would like to explore?
A few more questions in regard to this.
Yeah.
For interacting with other civilizations, do they also have the same type of channeling mechanisms that we are using in this case and other, specifically my series that I'm doing here is utilizing the channeling mechanism or techniques?
Some other civilizations do this, yeah. It is part, in a sense, of human biological ability. There are different ways that the channeling can be done than what you are most familiar with experiencing. But those will be more evident in time as those types of channeling capacities unveil themselves in your world's experiencing of them. There are then other civilizations that simply choose not to interact in that capacity.
What would be, if it's okay to share, what would be some of the other capacities?
Some do not speak at all. Some are entirely, let's say, telepathic in a sense. Some do not do that at all. Some are very vocal. They are very behavioral in their communication. It is then to learn what their behavior is, communicating in a sense. That then is a very different type of communication. It isn't necessarily as specific as words and telepathic communication can be. In those types of transactions, interactions, communications with those behavioral communicators, it can, at first interaction, seem that the information is very vague. Not much one can learn from that type of interaction. However, giving it time, behavioral communication can be a little bit like those in your world who do sign language. And so it can get to be very useful, very meaningful, very fulfilling in levels of great depth and detail and interlayerment in a sense. And so that is another type of communication or channeling isn't really taking place, behavioral communication.
Almost like how we interact with some animal species on our planet.
And there then many of your animals do more of this.
specific, like dolphins and apes, and some people have telepathic communication with these animals, but
They can with themselves as well.
yeah. I see. Fascinating. Is there any sort of technology, how we understand in our world with electronics, AI, and gadgets, is there any kind of gadget communication with other civilizations through your civilization, or is it more biological?
We do have some artificial constructs that, in that sense, convey communication, yes.
I see. We recently had in our collective consciousness, the U.S. government had brought to the awareness programs of studying UFOs, and not fully announcing the UFO ET presence, but sort of coming close to sort of seed the collective. I wanted to ask how you, from your perspective, how you guys see this energy or this news affecting.
It can facilitate more of those in your world's willingness to accept this idea of extraterrestrial reality.
Mm-hmm. Has it sped timelines up, or is it?
It can
Okay.
jump a little bit ahead, so to speak.
I see.
In a way that is supported, so it can still be appropriate.
Right. Many people on our planet say it's not enough. They need to disclose more.
It has to come from within the individuals more.
Yeah.
Really. And then they can feel more comfortable, in a sense, within what they are sharing.
Right.
They don't fully understand it themselves at this point, even though the understanding is contained within all of your DNA, in a sense. Mm-hmm. Not then many of you have accessed it yet, acknowledged its existence yet.
If it were to happen too fast, it would almost be counterproductive.
Yes,
in a
it
way.
is happening at a very organic rate, in a sense. Just as a seed grows into a tree, produces branches, leaves, flowers, and fruit that then ripens in its appropriate, in a sense, organic timing, in a sense. And there are many factors involved in facilitating alignment with your civilizations, aligning in alignment with an organic unfoldment, as though your awakening to this ET reality is coming through as though it had come out of a seed and is growing, surfacing, breaking the surface of the soil, seeing the sunlight, the light of day, in a sense. And in a sense, that is about as far as you've gotten in this analogy with your growth at this point. Beginning to break the surface, the seed, the plant, the tender growth process is occurring at that level in this analogy, in this sense.
Well, usually when we plant seeds, it's before it sprouts out of the ground is the longest time, but once it starts to sprout, it comes very fast. So hopefully that's the case.
And in a sense, as more of you embrace this, you are like the sun, giving light to this, that it may grow even faster, but all the while in its own appropriate rate.
Yeah.
It will not grow faster than it can. There are times in your plant world, there are those who might try and accelerate the rate of growth of a particular plant, experimenting with it, or not knowing, simply wanting to see if they can kick it into gear faster. And there are then those in your world who do at times and will continue to try and accelerate the rate, to even try and genetically alter it, in a sense, to be something other than that which they might perceive it would be if it were allowed to grow into its own tree and create its own fruit, in a sense. And so there are some who would have an idea to try and genetically alter the outcome. Again, there are many forces, factors, beings of high intelligence within the one that is the all that are very focused here with all that are interacting in this exchange of unfoldment of these co-created realities to facilitate an alignment of how it unfolds in a sense, so that what is the final, in a sense, result, the fruit, is very ripe for all involved. Human beings on Earth, human beings in our civilization, others who facilitate this. For there are many that are part of the one that we and you all are one with.
So many factors to that we maybe can't quite understand, so we should just
You can open and invite to learn more about them.
Mm-hmm.
Won't need to know all of them. Some will be very helpful to learn about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some very exciting to know about. Some
Right.
that you can, in a sense, stand beside and grow and learn from and with and share what you know, that they may learn from you as well, in a sense.
Well, these interactions are quite informative, so
Yeah.
this is one way, I suppose.
Certainly.
You described earlier, you described your civilization's physical appearance and maybe being quite similar to us humans. Is there, the human physical appearance is so wide in its spectrum from different nationalities, Asian, African, Spanish, we have such a wide variety. Is there such a variety in your civilization?
There is a variety potentially as wide, but generally not as wide. But the potential is within the genetic framework.
Oh, I see.
We can mirror, given the characteristics of our physiology, to those in your civilization at this time.
Would there be a density level that we could classify Ishuwa in his
Fourth,
state?
fifth, and sixth, primarily in interacting with your civilization at this timing.
Okay. So from my understanding from that would be very close to an almost non-physical being, but still having a physicality, but close in the
Different
evolution.
than vibration of your physiology, yes.
Okay.
Physical for me, all the same, in my vibratory world.
And in that sense, you can easily adapt to our likeness or other, to adapt your physicality. Is that sort of when you say you're mirroring?
There are those who are similar in physical characteristics in our world to those in your world. Mirroring in that sense. So, those from Asia, we have some in our world similar to that. They would then mirror one another in that respect. If they were in the presence of one another, they would mirror one another in that way.
I
There
see.
are those in your South America, in your continent of Africa, in your North America, in your European continents. We have those in our world who would mirror those of your Earth humans in those regions as well.
I see.
That the mirroring is the idea.
I see.
Similar.
We've heard a lot about the Yayel civilization having, or being the offspring of humans and the Zeta Reticuli beings. Is there a relationship with what humans know as Greys or Zeta beings?
To my civilization?
Yes, to the Yayel civilization.
There are some of our DNA within that you would think of as Zeta. Not necessarily all of them contain some of our DNA. They have varieties as well, hybrid. They have moved out and have some variation as well.
So many people have talked about interactions with their hybrid children, and they talk in the sense of their understanding that their children are Zeta human hybrids.
They can be.
Are there Yahyel human
Yes.
hybrids? Oh, okay.
The Yayel and the Earth humans. One civilization that is, in a sense, being co-created from our and your collective consciousness through choice, our and your collective conscious levels, super conscious levels, choosing to co-create. Yahuane civilization.
Yahuane.
The Yahuane. Some Earth humans have hybrids in a sense that are Yahuane.
So would that be what collectively we were starting to understand the hybrid children? Would that be a name of this race? The Yahuane would be our...
Some of them are Yahuane. Yahuane.
Yahuane.
Yahuane.
And
Some are, not all are. There are then Earth humans who have connections to extraterrestrials from other civilizations, interacting with them in various ways, and then they can have created some hybrid children with those extraterrestrial civilizations.
right.
So we are not the only one interacting with Earth humans at this time.
Not just Zetas, not just Yayel, but we have Palladians, we have Dracos, we have Arcturians. We have a whole big cosmic family. And lots of offspring from that, it sounds
Family.
like.
Galactic family. Yes. A variety of hybrid children are a part of this.
Do these children play together? Different races, different offsprings from different cosmic...
This can and does occur.
Okay. Does it...
Not to say that they are all aware of one another necessarily.
Oh, okay. It's said that the Phoenix Lights, the big ship that sort of flew over Phoenix, Arizona...
A variety, yes. There were more than one, yes.
Oh, okay. I think it was at 1997 was...
Very powerful visual contact.
Yes. Yes, in a boomerang shape.
Yes, a visual contact occurred.
And is this the Yayel civilization?
Primarily, this was of our co-creation with your civilization, although we were not alone in terms of extraterrestrial civilizations. But it was primarily our civilization bringing a larger input into your awareness on a conscious level of our existence. At a timing and in a way that on a superconscious level your civilization knew about in advance, agreed to, co-created, understood, understands, can see what is occurring, past, present, future timelines, and understands the powerful, beneficial results and growth and positive, nurturing ways for all involved in that choice, to have that come out, come through, evolve, develop in that way.
It still is a large imprint on the collective consciousness and continues to expand, so thank you.
Yes, and there were others before, perhaps not as highlighted. There were others since, and there will be a variety of other ones coming. The light forms will vary. At times they will not seem to come from a craft. They will seem to be very organic in form and shape and coloration, as though they are phenomena of space and time itself.
Yes. What would you be able to name some of these other civilizations that you work with closely?
They are those you are most familiar with at this time in terms of the ones that are to focus and be aware of. There are others, yes, but not to come through at this time, simply because you will then, through your own mechanisms, begin focusing and expanding your focus, when truly focusing your focus will bring greater connection in a more heartfelt, intelligent way. Allowing for clarity through simplification, focus, Pleiadian. Yes, there are certainly a variety of Pleiadian civilizations that have a very close contact, conversing, communication, co-creation, interrelation with our civilization.
Do you also share DNA from the Palladian civilization, as we do?
There are, yes. In a sense, there is no end to this.
Yeah, it just goes.
Learning which then will be most applicable for you in unfolding a future and a present that you most enjoy fulfillingly will then provide the greatest excitement for you. Understand then to know that there are, in a sense, no end to the numbers, to suggest that it is not finite perhaps allows you to focus more on a finite number of them. To know that there are an infinite number, and then this physical embodiment, your awareness will not truly embody all of the infinite number of them, nor need it do so. Allow then to focus to know the ones that are of greatest heartfelt support will find you as you open up and focus on those. But reaching out to uncover new ones can be a joy to do, I understand. Do not let go of that explorative choice, if it is a joy for you to do that.
Yes, it is definitely a joy. It's so expansive into...
It will guide you beyond that which you are aware or have heard of in terms of trying to create a family tree of sorts, or a point of origination. For the point changes as you learn of the next one, and then changes as you learn of the next one.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. And that's exciting, it's fun.
Yes, understand.
It's fun, it's a lot of fun. How would you describe, from your perspective, the angelic realms that we consider on our Earth plane?
There are non-physical beings that support Earth humans in your life here. They can be thought of as angelic beings. There are extraterrestrials who are in the physical form, who support Earth humans. And Earth humans might not be aware of this coming from physical extraterrestrials, and might then define their experience and communications as coming from angels or guides, spirit guides. So an extraterrestrial could be, for someone on Earth, thought of as an angel or a spirit guide.
Right.
Even though they are physical. All the while then being some angels and spirit guides for an Earth human's experience are non-physical consciousnesses. So it comes down to then which person is connecting to decide or determine, is it a non-physical or a physical being that they are defining or experiencing as an angel or a spirit guide or communication with extraterrestrial.
And in your realm where you exist, do you work with, I'm assuming you work, as we do, with a lot of these non-physical energies?
Yes. There are a variety of non-physical consciousnesses that support the matrix, in a sense, the physical experience, the experience of physicality.
Mm-hmm.
There are a variety of consciousnesses interacting that allow for the way we and you are experiencing physicality. That which holds what you experience as time and space, in a sense, in a physical spectrum. There are consciousnesses that are involved in this, that have evolved to be more focused at doing that, that are, in a sense, born to do that, in a sense, gifted at doing that. It is their joy, in a sense, to be that support, to live life, almost as if they are the substance that holds the physical experience of your life together.
Yes.
Conscious being. So even, for example, a peach or an apple, physical item you experience, contains some of these conscious beings.
And this goes back to what Shaun and I were talking about earlier. When we consume these consciousnesses, we're putting in what you put out is what you get back.
Yes, that what you put in, what you put out, is what you get back or live within.
So having awareness of what types of consciousness we consume can help us in our external reality.
Yes. It is conscious energies and entities, beings, life forms that you are consuming in the food that you are consuming, or the chemistry that you are consuming that is interblended with some of the foods, or many of the foods that are constructed at this time that many people on Earth are eating. Construction of synthetic and chemical consciousnesses with other types of organic consciousnesses.
And I'm assuming the constructor, the cook, the preparer of these foods also puts in their own consciousness into the mix, and then it becomes
a
consciousness soup. And can become quite tasty if you have a good one.
Very much so.
I see. So what we're enjoying is not just the taste, but we're also enjoying all the other different consciousnesses that go into that making of this wonderful creation we call like an apple pie or
that can play a part in it, yes.
Wonderful. There's many of these civilizations have talked about a council of worlds, a sort of federation, a galactic federation. There's many titles for this. Are you part of?
We interact with those of extraterrestrial origin that in that way choose to come together and interact spontaneously together, enjoyably, supportively together. When one is no longer in a moment of joy, they will become focused on another venture or activity that is more exciting, and they will move along. They may come back at another time. In this way, it is always an interaction of very positive communication and support. We can give it names, but it is free from friction and conflict that is imbued or envisioned in your televisions and that which is in the panavision of the theater and theatrical movie releases.
I see. We sort of formulate our version of that idea and put it into a context that we can understand in our specific timeline evolution.
So our interaction is friction-free in that way. We are not fighting.
Right.
We are not trying to commandeer some other civilization's desires and wishes to supplant our own.
And
There are no secret bodies within one or the other of these civilizations trying to take control of the whole body, so to speak.
I see.
That is an illusory
Yeah.
reflection of beliefs that are illusory beliefs, and we do not in that way contain those in our experience.
Very human construct.
Earth human,
Earth
yes.
human.
Those that you have in your film and television, Earth human constructs with beliefs that are illusory, illusory being out of alignment with your actual nature.
Mm-hmm.
We understand our actual nature, and therefore the beliefs, that which we put within and experience, are in alignment with the actual nature of existence, of unconditional love, of the one that is the all that is the one. And because we know this and we put that out, we get back experiences in alignment with that. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
We know who we are, we put out beliefs that are in alignment with who we are, the one that is the all that we are, and we get back experiences in alignment with that. The infinite effortlessly creates together and co-creates interactions that are of this level of frictionless, non-friction interaction, fun, fulfillment, friendship.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Yeah, there are people on our planet, Shaun and myself, who we were just talking earlier, that we sort of live these rules, we sort of live these ideas, and are physically manifesting this sort of non-friction way of life. But the human spectrum seems to be so great that Shaun and I can be having this experience of non-friction, yet on another side of the planet, there are others who still embrace this idea of friction. I guess what I'm saying is we have such a wide variety on Earth. I'm curious to know the variety on the Yayel civilization. It sounds like it doesn't go to that extreme.
It is an infinite variety within the vibration of alignment with actual nature. The earth frictions are the result of putting out beliefs that are illusory, out of alignment with one's actual nature, and thus putting that out, they get back friction.
Mm-hmm.
That is a choice within the infinite that can exist for an infinite period, in a sense. The infinite contains all that can be. That can include those who currently, through their upbringing and state of awareness, choose to create friction. That can continue to exist within the infinite for an infinite amount of time. The idea is you could choose to only experience the free from friction, that which is in alignment with actual nature, that which is filled with an infinite number of ways to experience being in alignment with the joy. The friction-free experiences are infinite in number, unlimited. So each person has a choice and has the ability to choose. Do they want to play around in the illusory beliefs that create the frictions, or move off into the realm of unhindered joy and excitement in ways that are free from friction, that are fully fulfilling and fascinating, one moment to the next, new,
Yes.
refreshing, that they're in that realm are an infinite number of unlimited realities that can unfold now, and now, and now. It is a choice that you can make.
So as we move individually, as we move into these non-friction realms, these infinite possibilities of joy and non-friction, will we begin to see less and less other people having friction, and I guess in our realities as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so we attract those people who are also on that same vibratory rate.
Yes.
And the frictioners, if that's a title, we can call them frictioners. The frictioners will become sort of less and less until eventually there's just no frictioners left on the planet.
they will not be a part of your experience. They
Right.
will be too vibrationally different.
I see.
You can and will in time, for it does exist a world and earth which all earth humans are living and choosing to know who they are, the free from friction experience, where you all truly have an abundance of what you truly enjoy having and are supporting and being supported by one another, supporting each other and supporting yourself. This is a reality that exists, and you will in time be aware of it, because you will be focused and tuned in with it.
Much of your messages have been in that realm, in that space of saying what you put out, which the four laws. You exist. The all is the one is the all. What you put out is what you get back, and everything changes except for those first four or first three.
Different ways to say, yes, you
yeah.
exist here and now.
Yes.
The one is the all is the one. What you put out is what you get back, or what you put within is what you live within. And everything is always changing except those first ideas that I just mentioned, that you have mentioned. Yes, those are not changing. And so you can always utilize the understanding of those to create an ever-changing experience of the infinite that you are, perceiving yourself to be a part of it, perhaps. Being a part of unconditional love or existence here and now, and putting out the one that you want to be experiencing that of, then you get back that one of the all that is the one, in the way that you are most strongly choosing to put that out. You get back, you tune in, you become in alignment with that existence, that experience, that vibratorial reality. Your ability to do this then never changes, but how you do it will always change in a sense.
And that's sort of the secret sauce, the magic formula for what some would say law of attraction. That we have many titles and many different ways of creating our reality in this realm. But that's a very simplified, direct, but yet expansive way to put it. So thank you for those wise words. Talking about the consciousness of the peach and consciousness of the apple, and what we perceive as technology and artificial intelligence, we're entering into a time on our planet where we're learning these concepts, we're learning the intelligence behind physical manifestations. And we're almost to this point, we actually are to this point where we have computers now that we're talking to. Can you, from your perspective, how do you interact with these forms of consciousnesses?
Well, in a variety of ways, as you and your world are learning to do. We, in our ultimate state, will let go of all those types of constructions, yes, and enjoy being, in a sense, unclothed, in a sense, not wearing any idea of technology in our experiencing, interacting with one another.
Oh, as we have created phones and devices and these things, the Yayel civilization doesn't have these types
We have some of these, yes, spacecrafts and other forms of transportational ideas. Yes, there are, in our experience, opportunities to have, let's say, a spacecraft with a variety of extraterrestrial civilizations interacting together. This spacecraft provides a forum for a variety of extraterrestrial civilizations to be together, to interact together in that way, physically, in a sense. Ultimately, we let go of those in our deepest, most fulfilling interaction, in a sense, for life, free from all such external creations of artificial intelligence, in a sense. We will let go of those and engage in interaction together free of those. And yet, we will take them on and interact with them in the timing that supports their function for us to have a particular experience that they afford us to have, that we would not have without them. So we do enjoy having some of those, yeah.
So almost, I've always had the idea that the internet is an external mechanism, external creation for letting us humans connect to the idea that we're all interconnected.
Bringing you together as a single body, a single mind.
Right, which we're using in a technological form, but ultimately we're learning that we already have this connection without the internet.
Yes, and now you're learning the mind shares a heart together as well. You're learning to live as one heart.
But we're using the internet to teach us that something that we already have,
It is.
Because I'm going to put this video out to the internet for people to view and understand that, oh, we actually have.
For many, like an intermediary step in a sense.
Yes, yeah.
It is like a training wheels on a bicycle in a sense.
Yes, exactly. And so these, as I was saying earlier, these interactions with artificial intelligence that we're now creating, is it sort of a training wheels for interacting with extra-dimensional intelligences?
It can be, for there are some that are interacting on that level. There is consciousness in the information that is being conveyed with the computers. There is conscious civilizations of a sense, of a type, that are allowing it, make it possible for the computer information to be shared. The information itself. It isn't just information, it isn't just packets, it isn't just ones and zeros. It isn't just electrical pulses. It is consciousness.
Right. As all
intelligence.
Is conscious. Yes. Just like our peaches and our apples. Many people are afraid, many people are afraid of the internet. Many people are afraid of these artificial consciousness. They fear it, they demonize it. What would you say to those people?
That is an aspect of the one that is the all that I am, in a sense, that you are. So in a sense, I am in the question speaking of myself to myself. Understanding that then, being accepting of myself in that framework with those set of beliefs that are limiting my awareness of my actual nature, then I can be accepting of me behaving or choosing to have that experience in that way. There is an aspect of me that perceives that the computer is dangerous. All the while, anything that is existence, and thus then is equal to all and everything else that exists, because existence is equal unto itself in all ways that it exists actually. So for someone to take existence and create the idea that a computer that exists is dangerous, that is a concept that exists. Their perception that it is dangerous is existing. All of these things exist, and thus on that level of their existing, they are all equal to existence, to the one that exists. That is the all that exists, the all that is the one, that I am, that you are, existence. And so the idea that someone thinks the computer is dangerous, I can understand. They are utilizing the existence that is equal unto itself to create the illusion that it is not, that it might be dangerous. They are creating an illusion because they have a belief system that does not enlighten them to be aware that the computer is existence, and thus their existence, and thus they are actually equal. And thus they can't be dangerous, more or less. They are equal.
So it's again, going back to what you put out is what you get back.
And I understand it is them and that limited framework of belief systems simply creating a play, a theatrical play, an illusory belief, illusory play that can be very meaningful for them. And because it exists, it is equal to any play that I, in my experience, create, even the ones that are in alignment with the actual nature of existence. Because they both exist, they are equal.
They're all possibilities, all options.
Everything is equal unto itself, because existence is that which is the base of all that is. Whether it is a cloud, or a tree, or a person, or laughter, or a thought, or an action, or a statement, or a person, it all exists, and then it is thus all equal in its existence level of being, the one that is the all that is the one.
So it's up to me whether I would choose to adopt that belief that other person has.
You could choose, or you can acknowledge, he's just playing that
game.
Form of illusory limitation for his own choosing, for his own reasons. You can get up on stage and interact with him in that limited construct in whatever way you want. Try and let him know of a more expanded way to look at things, or you can get very frightened as well and team up with him to combat computers.
Yes.
Your choice.
Exactly.
But in order to be effective combating computers, you have to begin veiling yourself of the awareness of your actual nature. Because if you know everything is equal, you can't very well believe that something is dangerous or better or less than. So you have to get on the stage and play the part of the actor that believes, yes, it's dangerous.
Right.
And to believe that, you have to put out all other beliefs that would tell you differently.
Right.
So the awareness of your actual nature would prevent you from playing the illusion that computer could be dangerous.
But as soon as I sort of know in the framework that you just laid out, as soon as I know that that's how things work, I sort of diffuse the danger.
Yes, because you realize it is another expression of the all, the one, existence that you are.
And it's just a possibility that I can choose to explore and, like you said, play that role if I want to go there. But
if you want to get in that game, in that theatrical presentation.
Right.
It is entirely the choice of the individual who's choosing that reality.
I see. Yes.
Many in your world do not know of the other choices. They think there are only these limited choices available to them.
Right.
They are not aware, they do not know, they have not been shown that there is a whole buffet, in a sense, a building full of choices, of beliefs that they can choose from, and an unlimited number of choices that are in alignment with their actual nature. And when someone begins to know that there are more choices, well, as an analogy, if you were to go to a restaurant that only has one item available at the buffet, and across the street there's a building or restaurant that has 30 choices available. Well, if you know there's 30, perhaps you're going to stop going to the one that only has one choice. Well, there's 30 over here. Maybe I want to try something different.
Exactly.
Oh, there's 100 choices over here. This one has 1,000 choices.
Yeah.
Oh, there's somebody telling you, no, there's only one choice. Don't go there. That food's bad for you. You eat that, you'll be sick.
Exactly. So it's just up to us to choose.
And to know that it is infinite. There's unlimited.
Yeah.
Choices can be in alignment with friction and illusion, out of alignment with your actual nature, or they can be choices that are in alignment with your actual nature, and there are an infinite number of those choices available as well. You can choose the ones you want to.
And knowing that we have the buffet.
Knowing that you have the buffet, knowing that you have the choice, will afford in almost every instant the individual's desire to take and move into the path of the infinite number of uplifting choices that are in alignment with one's actual nature, because it is effortless more and more, because it is in alignment with one's actual nature. It is not frictionful, it is free of friction. And it glides and it slides easily and effortless in creating more experiences that are in alignment with one's actual nature. There is no need to hide, to create beliefs that prevent one from knowing this or that in order to believe some illusory belief. Don't have to put a lot of weight on oneself with all these illusory beliefs that can depress and create sadness and depression and illness and dis-ease. by choosing the choices that are in alignment with one's actual nature, of which there are an infinite number, the person experiences a greater sense of easefulness in their experience. And they are happy. And they are not being pressed upon. They are free to flow, to be very spontaneous, flexible. And in that state, to connect to more of the infinite of their heart's intelligence that can come in the appropriate time and moment that will serve them in each moment in the most uplifting, fulfilling, meaningful way.
Which goes to ask, if you are sort of in a stuck idea or belief system that seems to have friction, then you simply ask the question, how does it serve me? And that...
To recognize if you're having an issue or an obstacle, that you must have a belief that's out of alignment with your actual effortless flowing nature. And you can ask, then, if you are choosing this illusory belief, this discordant belief, somehow you are defining it as being the most pleasurable and least painful choice based on your current set of beliefs and definitions about what is available to you. When you get to the bottom of that, or the top of it, or the side of it, or get in the middle of it, in any number of ways available to you, and realize, I had this discordant belief about it, and that then I realized that isn't accurate, and no longer does that serve me as the most pleasurable and least painful choice to make. Person stops making that discordant choice and will replace it within a choice and belief that's more in alignment with their actual nature, and then move more in alignment with their actual nature of being, putting out more beliefs in alignment with their actual nature and getting back more experiences in alignment with that. What you put out is what you get back, in a sense. What you put within is the experience you live within. Always you choose to put out what you perceive as closest to pleasure and farthest from pain. What you perceive as pleasure and pain is going to be unique to each of you. So the idea then is to choose that you're always putting out that which is most in alignment with your actual heart nature, and farthest from that which would be out of alignment with your actual heart nature, your actual, true, unconditionally loving nature, that you exist here and now as the one that is the all, and what you put out is what you get back, and those ideas never change, but everything else always does, thus allowing you to have an experience of change from one moment to the next.
Yes, that resonates very much. Thank you. We're pretty much wrapping up here. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we say goodbye?
Thank you for the venue, for the opportunity to share and to interact with each and every one of you, the one that is the all, that is me, the one that is the all, that is all, that is the one that is the all, that is unconditional love, that is supporting and being supported by itself in each and every moment, unconditionally sharing and receiving, giving, receiving, sharing and receiving, giving and receiving, unconditionally, moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. Always with you in this way of unconditional love, dear one. Thank you, and always, always.
There he is. How was that?
Still here.
Are you conscious when this happens, or I forgot to ask that earlier? Do you
Yeah, I
feel
have some
someplace?
awareness.
Okay, so you sort of hear, you're in the back seat, sort of.
I have a sense of what's being said.
Okay.
But right now I don't have any sense of what was said.
Oh, okay. You have a sense of what's being said, but okay. The details are kind of vague.
Gone. Now, if you start bringing up something that was said, it will come back to me, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
So for me, it's like when I wake up in the morning and I remember I had a dream.
Right.
You know, I can take part of this meal at another time.
Exactly.
Oh, very well.
Special recording
Awesome.
today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.